Heyo, I'm Colby from Sanitarium Productions. We're back again today for another G.I. Joe toy review for y'all. Today we're taking a look at barbecue. Not just any barbecue. This is the Headquarters for Heroes Toys R Us exclusive version. So he's got a new color scheme going on. It's very similar to the Slaughter's Marauders version, but just different enough to where it's not really Slaughter's Marauders. So yeah, it's kind of cool looking. So we're just going to go in, open it up, and take a look at the figure. So stick around. This is Barbecue, the Headquarters for Heroes version that was a Toys R Us exclusive, actually. This comes on a traditional Rise of Cobra card, and it's got some nice artwork. I don't know exactly why they chose this particular color scheme, but they did, so that's what we got. Flipping it over to the back, we can see the traditional card art, file card, G.I. Joe synopsis, and a couple of the other characters. So nothing too crazy and outlandish here. They don't really give a whole big spiel about this whole Headquarters for Heroes thing, so I may need to go back and look and see what that was all about, but regardless, we're going to go ahead and open this thing up and take a look here. I always liked the original barbecue figure and the character from the cartoons. And the 25th anniversary release of this was a pretty cool figure, actually. A nice update on the classic. Nothing else in there, so we've got the traditional figure stand right here. And like most of these Rise of Cobra figures, a really big missile launcher gun. And let's get barbecue out. And there we go. So we've got the figure itself, the crazy big cannon gun, his backpack, a hose, his fire retardant blaster gun, an assault rifle, an assault shotgun, and his axe. So we'll go ahead and zoom in on this and take a closer look. The figure stand is pretty traditional here. Codename, these weird little groove pattern things, and the traditional G.I. Joe emblem on the back for the movie line anyways. Nice little dog tag figure stand. So the big cannon thing here is a fairly big cannon thing. This is pretty much the same weapon as the Heat Vipers use, and you can even, if you turn it upside down and take a look in the corner here, it's got the imprint of the fang on it. So it's pretty cool that they included that, though why they used it for barbecue I'm not really sure, but still a nice little touch anyways. I do like the way that this particular cannon came out. Firing mechanism at the top here, good spring action, and you do have an attachment for a hose here if you wanted to attach it to something. So I'll put that to the side for right now. Let's take a look at the backpack first, I guess. This is the same pack that he came with the traditional release. Slightly different color scheme. A lot of nice detail work on it, but pretty plain. Nothing too outstanding or spectacular, but it still works fine. We got the regular hose here. It just attaches over here on the side, just like that. It attaches very loosely. I don't know if both sides are that loose. Yeah, they're both pretty loose there. One thing you can do, though, is to kind of slightly force it up onto that bigger peg, and that holds it in place pretty well. But yeah. Then the other part of this is his actual pistol weapon here. This is essentially the firing mechanism for the extinguisher fluid. And then your other side of your hose attaches the same way. And again, it's rather loose on the first little bit here. So you probably have to squeeze it a little bit and get it to slide over that second ridge. We also have an assault weapon here. This has got some really nice detail work on it. And again, I don't know the particulars of the weapon, so feel free to drop a comment if you know exactly which type of assault rifle this is based off of. I have no idea, so I'm not going to even try to guess. But it's a cool one. It looks really nice. We'll go ahead and pull the shotgun out of his hand as well. Again, some decent detail work. This one's fairly plain, but it works well. Then he also has his axe, which is rubber banded on his hand. Just kind of pull them around for a little bit till we get it off. Come on, rubber band, get off of here. This is why I usually just cut these things off. There we go. Throw that away. Very nice axe. I do like the black color here. It's a very soft plastic, as you can tell. It bends really easily, which I'm not a fan of, but it has a tendency to warp a little bit and not stay in the right position, but if yours does that, you can kind of work with it a little bit and get it to spring back into the intended form factor. But still, it's a nice little axe. Moving on to the figure itself, Barbecue. Again, it's pretty much the same sculpt as we got from the original release with just new color scheme on it. He's got the nice new G.I. Joe logo here on his chest harness piece here. Nice head sculpt. The helmet is non-removable, so you don't get to see what he looks like underneath there. Fairly basic on the back. Pants are also kind of fairly basic, but you should kind of know what to expect going into this. It's not really surprised by any of it. Anyways, articulation wise, we have 360 degrees on his head. Not a lot of up and down motion. A little bit, but very little actually. Shoulder joint is the ball and swivel like we've seen everywhere else. The elbow joint is the same ball and swivel. And his wrists just have swivel. He does have the waist twist and rocker joint there, so quite a bit of range of motion there. You'll note that all of his breathing apparatus tank here is a part of the sculpt itself. It's non-removable. So if you pop his head off, if we can do that, well, for once, his head don't want to pop off. But we were just going to show you the underneath of this armor plating, but it's nothing too spectacular, so I'm not going to worry about it. Got some nice detail work in his belt. traditional T-hook joint at the waist, double knee joint, then swivel and rocker at the ankle. So all in all, really good articulation with this figure. It's nice and clean actually, so it works really well. I'm actually pretty surprised. I didn't really expect it to look quite as good as it does, but it does work really well. Not quite the Slaughter's Marauders version that would have made the more sense, but still it works the way it is. So yeah, that's barbecue here. Unfortunately, he does not have a place to attach his weapons or anything, but let's go ahead and gear him up here. The backpack pegs into his back fairly easily, and you can take and attach his hose pipe pistol into his hand. It doesn't stay put very easily, to be honest with you. The hard plastic that they use in the pistol grip just doesn't lend itself very well, at least to that one hand. But if you, as you can see, put it in his other hand and it's good to go. Just a little awkward with that hose there, but still works pretty well. His big axe, again, fits very loosely in his left hand, but fits much nicer in his right hand. So I guess our barbecue's a right-hander. Then the assault shotgun, again, way too loose in this one hand. But if you keep having problems like I am, the plastic is fairly soft, so you can kind of press and bend it back a little bit, and hopefully it'll work a little bit better that way. There we go. Now the shotgun fits in his hand pretty easily. And we also have his other assault rifle that works a whole lot easier than anything else. And there we go. So yeah, overall, really nice figure. It's a shame that he can't hold all of his weapons at one time. But I do, I do like the fact that they included a couple of extra accessories for him. He's got, you know, some actual assault weapons now instead of just the axe and the fire retardant thing. And you do have to deal with another big cannon, but at least in this particular case, it kind of works with the figure. You can pretend it's just a larger version of the slime blower or something like that. And you can fix it so it goes on either way, shoulder mounted or underneath there. So yeah, overall, not a bad figure. I would probably recommend the original version over this one, simply because it just looks a little nicer and more clean. But if you are looking for something, you know, slightly different, this is a good one to pick up. The yellow and black is a pretty nice update. The color scheme works pretty well. Just doesn't fit in with a lot of the other figures, to be honest with you. So he's going to look a little weird, but it's still a pretty nice figure. So that's it for our review today. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, feel free to drop some comments down below. Subscribe to our channel, like us. Feel free to share it with others if you think it's worth sharing. Till next time, Yo Joe.